Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with some more Danmachi. And this time we're gonna have an intro and an outro. Yes, I'm home. Last week, if for whatever reason, if you missed my last week's episode thoughts, episode 1 of season 5, well, go check that video. But I was out of town at that time. And with the fact that I had so many questions coming out of episode 1 still, of Danmachi, I had to talk about it. But listen, I still have questions and stuff like that in terms of the relation to Freya and Seer. We don't get those answers answered in this episode. We do see Freya in this episode. She's at the festival and she's kind of greeting the public. And then as Belle and Seer on their date, Belle looks up at her, and then freaking Freya looks down at him in a pretty pissed off attitude because, again, we know how much Freya wants Belle for herself. For whatever reasons they are, I don't know. It's to have him join her familia, but I feel like she wants to do other things to Belle. Like, I feel like she more than likely wants to mate with Belle. And we see that happening, and she gave that dirty look like, you motherfuckers. And it was funny because Sears was like, stop looking at her, and pulled him over to the side. But this episode was absolutely hilarious, dude. So you get the date between Belle and Seer, but see, the lead up to the date was the funny part. So Haydn, one of the Freya Familia members, he attacked Belle last week so he could capture him, and basically attacked him so he could essentially have him be trained. Now, again, I don't know what the correlation between Seer and the Freya Familia are and why they're so overprotective of her, but this man Haydn was like legitimately telling Belle, you have no fucking choice. You either go out on this date and you make Seer happy, otherwise, if you don't do this, I will destroy your familia instantly. And then it's funny because Belle's like, well, actually, I like this other girl. And he's like, no, no, no. You will be falling in love with Miss Seer, or Lady Seer. And I'm just like, this man is basically blackmailing him, saying it's a yes or yes answer. Otherwise, your entire familia is gone. I'll wipe it off the face of the earth. Which is absolutely crazy, if you ask me. Like, holy hell. This guy is going crazy over this girl. Like, it's like he's some overprotective brother or some overprotective father or something. And he basically was training Belle. This is the etiquette that you need to have. This is what you need to do. You need to make sure Lady Seer is your #1 priority. You better make her happy, otherwise you're going to get it. And then we have a whole ass training montage of this man teaching Belle how to act like a proper man. What now? Personally, if you ask me, despite the over the topness, it's actually probably good for Belle to get this, like, okay, this is how you treat a girl on a date type of thing, because we know he likes Ice Wallenstein, who we see in this episode, and this training can be very valuable to him when he eventually has the courage to ask Ice out, and maybe we end up getting a date between the two in one of these upcoming seasons. But this man is literally doing this. He was like reading a book, eyes all red, bloodshot red. I'm like, oh my goodness. When I see anime character bloodshot eye red, my eyes start to water. I'm like, frick, man, I can only imagine. I actually know how that feels, but holy heck. And then this man goes out into the field, right? So it's absolutely hilarious. Now it's funny because I watched another reviewer talk about, like, you know, this show's called How to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, bro. Bruh, what the fuck, man? So he's like, so Belle goes in this dungeon and he's helping out these girls, these 3 girls. And after he's done saving these 3 girls, he ends up acting all like different. He ends up acting like, I guess you could say suave, or like freaking, to them, attractive. And they're like, Rabbit's foot? Whoa, you're acting quite different. I kind of like this type of Bell Cranel. This man was pulling girls in a dungeon, and I swear these girls came up to him and legitimately were like, "Hey, you free tonight or something?" I'm like, bro, was pulling some bitches already. I'm sorry, I just had to pull it out. I just say that. I'm like Ninja. He was pulling the girls on the side. He's getting these girls, and this man Hyde is like, he electrocutes him. He's like, "You do not flirt. You do not do what you're doing in an attempt to try to flirt with people." I'm like, but isn't that? I'm just like, well, isn't that the goal? If you flirt, then you're gonna get a guy or a girl to like you. More than likely, or it gets them embarrassed and it gets them more into you. But this man, I was legitimately watching the episode and I was crying at the fact he was like, "Do you need my help?" And these girls were falling high over heels. Now, the funny, hilarious part was Cassandra. So you remember Cassandra and Daphne from last season, they helped out with our party stuff. And the thing is, Cassandra does have a little bit of feelings towards Belle because if you remember from last season, she had these premonitions about the bad thing happening in season 4. And everybody else really didn't believe her. And it's like an ability she's cursed with or whatever. And Belle was the only person to actually believe her, and she actually appreciated that, and she actually liked that. And I wouldn't say she like started falling in love with him, but she started catching some feelings. So this week, so we see Cassandra and Daphne. They're down in the dungeon area, and like basically the midway point, one of the like hub areas in the dungeon. And essentially, Hayden tells Belle, "Listen, you're going to buy some random girl something, and then you're going to feed that item to her. And then you're going to eat what she has as well." And I'm just like, oh, brother. And then I saw Daphne and Cassandra. I'm like, oh, my God. So Belle walks up. He clearly buys them the sweet or the food that they wanted. And you just have it to where this man is legitimately flirting with Cassandra. And he's like, "This is pretty good. Would you care to have a bite?" And she gets all flustered and everything. She's like, "Okay, I guess." So she eats his food. She eats his sweet treat. And then he's like, "You don't mind if I take a bite of yours, right?" And she's like, "Whoa." She's like, "I guess not." So he eats it. He doesn't like, apparently Belle doesn't like sweet things. I don't know why. You know, whatever. And then he sees that she has clearly some, like, I guess you can say some frosting on her cheek. This man wipes the frosting off her cheek, and then he licks the frosting. And at this point, Cassandra broke. She was like, her face became instantly red. I was crying, laughing up a storm because this girl was losing her. She's like, oh! I'm like, oh my goodness, she's losing it. I'm like, at this point, she's like simping, bro. And then you just have Daphne, who's like the third wheel in this whole thing. At first, I'm like, oh God. I'm like, is she starting to catch feelings for Belle too with the way he's acting? And is she gonna be like, "Hey, you can have some of my treat"? No, she's just like the person like, what is going on? Are Belle and Cassandra that close? And it was fun. This is gonna be an ongoing gag. I bet you the next time we see these two characters on screen, legitimately, Daphne's gonna be like, "My goodness, I didn't think they were so close." Now we don't know if Belle told them like, "Hey, I didn't mean anything by this. I was doing this because I'm training for a date I'm going on. And my master wanted me to do it." Now, maybe he tells that to them later. We don't see if he did tell it to them. If that's the case, knowing Danmachi, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna play it off like as if, you know, he did this. Cassandra's gonna start falling for him now because of what he did, and Daphne's just gonna be over here like, "Cassandra, do you like Belle Cranel?" And then you're gonna obviously have it to where Cassandra is gonna be like, I think I do. Now it's gonna be interesting to see if Daphne and Cassandra, if they ever have any other interactions with the Hestia Familia. If they mention like, hey, is Belle good? Because man, he was like feeding Cassandra some food and then licking the frosting off her cheek. I'm like, and they're gonna be like, wait, what? And you already know, for the shadow of a doubt, fucking Hestia is gonna be pissed, bro. Hestia is gonna be pissed. She's gonna be like, he did what? So you get that whole moment. He's prepared for the date. He's prepared for the date. So he gets there super early because that's what Hayden tells him to do. Gets them. He tells them like, "Hey, go get there. Get at your date super early." Of course, that's what a man should do. You should be there early before the woman. Seer, I guess, was so flustered by it, she was shocked. While this man is wearing a straight up like whole get up and outfit. He wearing like he looking like a butler. Let's be honest. He was looking like a butler more than just going out. But you know, they go arm in arm on this date. They're just having time, and he's doing all the things that he was told by Hayden to do. And at first, you kind of have it to where Sears like, what the heck? Now, in the meantime, you have the other Freya Familia members, like legitimately, like all over the place, watching this date happen. And I'm just like, these people, I'm like, it's like, we got to make sure this dude's doing something good. Otherwise, all hell's gonna break loose, right? So they get to like this one staging area where the goddesses are at the festival saying hi, not all of them, but a few of them. Like I mentioned, Freya sees them and she kind of gives this like dirty glance, like, oh, I know you didn't come over here just to flaunt that you're going on a date with Belle Cranel. I don't know if she was like doing that as like giving that freaking dirty look at Seer. More than likely, probably, because we know Freya Freya wanted wants Belle to herself. And we do kind of a little bit of an intro, like the one freaking dog looking dude is like, are you okay with this? So, and he was telling this to Freya, and Freya's like, it's fine. We'll just see how it goes and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, okay. But like Freya gave the most dirtiest look. She was like, I know you didn't come here and try to essentially look like she gave you want to fuck around with me, you'll find out real quickly. Listen, she was not happy. She gave that look. She was like, oh, I know you didn't come here with my prize, the object of my eye. That was absolutely hilarious. But Seer talked about like, certain goddesses come out. I think she made the mention about Ishtar or whatever. She already gone, long gone. She died in season 2 and she's back in heaven anyways. But you get my point anyways. But eventually that's when they run into Ice. So Ice is just eating at the goddess thing. Belle's breaking down because like that's the girl he likes, and he sees that Seer is with him, and she's gonna be like, oh no, I don't want her to get the wrong impression. But Seer is like knows that Belle likes Ice Wallenstein. She legitimately wraps her arms around him, and she's like, it's definitely what you'd see. Me and Belle Cranel are going out on a date and everything. And Belle's like, what the heck are you doing? And Ice is just like, okay. And she's eating these potatoes. Now, she does have a shocked expression. I don't know if that means she's somewhat a little bit jealous. I haven't seen the first, well, it's been a while since I've seen the last season and even previous seasons to get a gauge on if like Ice actually has feelings for Belle. But like I know they had like the little fight they had in season 3 over and everything, but who knows? She's just eating this and everything, and she's just like, okay, enjoy your date, I guess. And they just walk off. And eventually what happens is, so the maid ladies, Ryu is kind of just bothered, and she's having a hard time working in their restaurant because of the fact that she knows that Belle and Seer are going on this date, and she likes him. And the head honcho of the building is like, hey, get your shit together, Ryu. What's going on up there? And then they kind of have it to where the other cafe ladies, they get the Hestia Familia to come in and take their role so they can basically spy on Belle and Seer to make sure their date is going good. Ryu's gonna be there, so it's gonna be interesting to see how she feels about this whole thing as she's watching this. It's funny because Hestia, she's trying to work and she's just fucking everything up. And it's funny because he not even her own familiar members like, all right, you need to just go. Get out of here, please. You ain't doing anything right. She's breaking dishes. She can't do this. She can't do that. She's just clumsy as all get up. And the other familiar members and even the head honcho of the restaurant, of the cafe is like, all right, get the fuck out. Do anything else but stay here and work. Which leads to Hestia running into Ice Wallenstein. She's like, oh, Ice whatchamacallit, what are you doing here? And then she's just makes the mention like, oh yeah, I actually saw Belle and Seer on their little date or whatever. And Hestia's like, wait, what? And she's like, oh no, I need to see what's going on here. And she's like, you're kind of come and help. So it's funny, Hestia, who doesn't like Ice Wallenstein because she knows Belle is madly in love with her. She's making like a temporary truce to be like, all right, we need to stop this guy. We need to stop the homewrecker. Which I think she did say. And I'm like, when I saw homewrecker, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's reminding me of gosh dang Machine, because Machine, that was funny. And they used that term, the homewrecker, in terms of guys that were going after girls that had feelings for another girl, and this other girl's trying to get in the relationship, the homewrecker. But essentially, the episode ends off in a way to where Seer is asking Belle, like, hey, because she gets upset. She's like, all right, I'm sick and tired of you doing all this and everything. Now, the thing is, she appreciates what Belle's doing. Like, at first, I'm like thinking, like, she was upset. Like, what? You're not acting like you. Now, she does make the mention, like, this isn't you. You typically don't act like this. Like, even before they started going out on the date on the episode, she's like, that's not the type of clothes I would picture you wearing, but I digress. Honestly, she probably thought he was gonna wear that brown vest of his and everything. He's just gonna have a good old time with her. No, but regardless, she makes the mention like, I just don't like the fact I'm the one that was supposed to be doing all the first with you, not you. You're doing everything. You're making me eat the first bite. You're making me do everything. I'm supposed to be the one to do all this. Now, I do think it's more cuter when the girl feeds the guy more than the guy feeds the girl, personally. Like, if it was me, I'd rather a girl that I'm going on a date with, if she's like, hey, you want a bite? I'm the one that's getting fed by her, because that just means, okay, now I know you're into me. If you're gonna have me feed something, essentially make it have where I'm getting an indirect kiss from you, right? So you have that funny moment, where she's just like, I don't like that you're doing all these first, and I want to be the one to do it. And the episode ends up, she's like, well, then can you promise me this one thing you want to know the way to make it up to me? And everything. She's like, take me away and have me have free. So she also makes the mention, she knows that the other Freya familia members are watching, and she's asking Belle, like, hey, take me off and sweep me off my feet like I'm some sort of princess and free me from their watchful eyes, essentially. And that's where the episode ends off. So we're gonna see what Belle does. If he's gonna freaking just kidnap her, since that's what she said. She literally said, kidnap me. Now I don't know if that means the Freya family is gonna go after him, because that ain't a good thing if they're gonna be like, wait, he kidnapping her? But we'll see. Clearly it feels like, Seer wants Belle to act like Belle and everything, and well, she acts like Seer and she's all happy, and yeah. But anyway, Seer looked like a snack on the date, so that's a good thing. Yeah, but another great solid episode of Danmachi. We still get no answers about Seer and Freya's correlation. It's gonna be just like, I forgot, there was a big story point that they kept hidden until we found out the truth about that. It was either in season 3 or season 4. Oh, season 4. It was season 4 about the reason like why Ryu was attacking or doing all these things and killing these people, right? In season 4. Like, that's what it is now. That's the thing. Like, okay, what's the reason why? What's the correlation between Seer and Freya? What's the secret that Seer has that Belle cannot know? So it's gonna be interesting. But anyways, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Danmachi content. Apologies for getting this out a few days later. Work's been getting in the way, and yeah, same old stuff. Because I would have actually did this video Friday, but I had to work late last night, and that's why you're getting this video Saturday. Honestly, it's gonna be a big upload Saturday, so who the hell cares? Anyways, till then, guys, catch you guys in this video. See you guys later. Have a great rest of your day or night watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.